Cap time. So I would say a lot of the focus on cap time is, to me, it's going to be, there's a few different factors that I usually will consider when I'm like deciding whether or not the cap is like really, really important. So the first thing is numbers, like spawn times, things like that. If my team has numbers or we like just get a fresh pick, I'm usually not too worried about the point because like long term, meaning in the next 20 seconds of the round, our numbers are going to be more important than owning the point. We can win like long term off of numbers more than cap time is like relevant, right? Because on this map, the point is such a volatile place to be because this is like the 150 damage insta death zone that a lot of times if I have a pick or if I have a spawner who's about to arrive, something like that, I'm not going to want to risk capping or like denying their cap if that could potentially mean that we aren't going to be able to use our numbers. So that's one of the first like big considerations, is that since the cap can sometimes go really fast but can also result in like you instantly dying, I wouldn't throw the round big picture wise in order to like start the cap or deny the cap. So another scenario might be Uber. Like if you're about to get Uber and it's going to be like ad that might be useful, I might not be so worried about getting the cap or blocking the cap because I want to invest in like securing that Uber long term, right? So a lot of times a call that I'll make is like, what's more important? I'll say like, Uber's more important. Don't worry about the cap, something like that. Or it's okay if they cap, they're gonna, whatever it may be, because I want us to like not lose sight of what our actual winning advantage is. A lot of times the point itself is more of just like a tool to bait them out of position or, something like that. Obviously, you can analyze sort of patterns. Like if you give up the point for free too many times when maybe there wasn't a need to, yeah, that can be a problem because, they might slowly start inching a lead. But if you're throwing away number advantages or Uber advantages or things like that because of an over focus on the cap, then that is another probably more impactful problem. Um, I would say anytime the other team is like weak, something like that, that could be a time to look for some cap time. Um, Otherwise, if you notice just that the other team is not really they're not good at defending the point for whatever reason, like you could just sneak cap time off that. Um, I don't know. I think cap time is something you can always fish for. Your combo scout getting healthy probably can edge the cap a lot. Sometimes, like if you're arriving to a fight with number advantage, you can even have like both scouts getting cap time, and you'll get like over 50% of the cap with just times 4 cap speed. So there can be certain times where it might be sort of like advantageous to just stack the point a little bit, like before the other team's fully set up. But yeah, I don't know. The main thing I'm just trying to caution is like cap time is not necessary all the time. Like my scout is not fully buffed and he's like 90 HP. I don't really want him to be forcing cap time there because if he dies, that's gonna derail our whole team for quite some time. Um, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I
So
think I get that.
yeah, another scenario where I might like insist on blocking their cap time though is like if we have Uber. If we have Uber and they have Uber, I'm a lot less afraid to like take a little bit of risk to stand on the point. And at that point, I'm just trying to burn the clock.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to prevent them from getting cap time because I know that I have our Uber to like fall back on, things like that. So yeah, usually when I have Uber, I'm a little bit more confident to stand my ground because we can just pop and we won't drop anyone. We can take the exchange and get their Uber out, things like that. But if we're on disad or something, I'm not really going to be so worried about blocking the cap because if they just pop and kill my scout and my medic, we just lost the round. So I'd rather, just keep a big picture sort of perspective on those scenarios, I guess. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I
What
get
kind
it.
of issues were you guys running into with the cap time?
Uh, I think most of our issues were like with our left house soldier dying in a lot of rounds.
Mm-hmm.
But for cap time, it was just we. I don't think we had like a good idea of when to go for it. Like
See.
we would push them back,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we were pretty good at like when we got a pick. We tried to like our main objective was to like force them out. You know, like just
Mm-hmm.
take it slow and push them out.
Mm-hmm.
But we if it went to like if it was stayed even for too long,
Mm-hmm.
we like we would always lose the cap.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So in that scenario, like
Mm.
if it's even numbers, and like even Ubers or whatever, yeah, they're going to be able to apply a lot more pressure. So that's where you may want to look for people to cycle their health pools on the point. Like for example, your soldier that's just like sitting here defensively, he may occasionally want to just do like a jump to like the edge of the cap right here, even just to like buy a second or two, then jump out, you know. Or if your combo scout's taking a lot of damage, he may have to cycle back, and then like your flank scout could cycle in. You know, just things like that can help to hold the point while they're trying to apply the maximum amount of like pressure on the cap, basically. So it can be fairly difficult, but it's something worth trying. Usually, what you have to say is just like, you kind of have to identify that moment where you're saying like, this is going to be like, let's cycle the point or something. Like, let's don't let them cap, but you know, I need someone. Can someone else block for me? You know, those sorts of things. Having that sort of established beforehand, I think, helps. Because if you're just doing it like spontaneously and your scout just like leaves, but you've never talked about, you know, oh, I'm weak, so I am going to give up the point. But when I do that, I want someone else to cycle in. You know, if you guys haven't gone over that whole routine, then yeah, they're just going to keep capping for free because they only need to pressure one of your players.
Yeah, that makes
Uh,
sense.
yeah.
Because what would happen a lot is our like what would happen is like Pors is our pocket scout. Our pocket scout
Mm-hmm.
would get forced off the point. He'd be like, I'm too low, and
Mm-hmm.
so Casper would walk up. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, I think maybe rotating like a scout or soldier would probably be better.
Yeah. I mean, your demo can be involved in it, but
Yeah.
it's just always going to be really dangerous for your demo to be, uh, you know, pushing right up into them.
Yeah.
Um, you know, your demo can maybe play the edge of the cap sometimes. I think for your medic though, um, you know, it's just going to be important that if your scout is disengaging from the point and your demo's going forward, you probably have to still commit to healing the guy that's capping.
Yeah.
Because if you're just tanking your scout back here, your demo's going to die alone up there. So maybe your scout can just like cycle out, get a pack, come back in. You know, that's only a few seconds, and now they, you know, take back over, that kind of thing. So that can be something worth practicing. I'm not sure. Like, were you usually healing your demo if they were
Yeah.
like
Usually,
trying to
I'm
fill in?
healing the one who's closest to the point.
Okay,
I have that demo was using lock and load, so I was like for sure keeping my beam on whoever was closest to him.
gotcha. Okay.
Does this apply like this kind of thing applies to like product too, right?
Um, I suppose it does, but the cap is way harder to get for free on Viaduct.
Okay.
So it really changes the dynamic of things because on this map, the cap is faster, I think, than Viaduct, and they have more cover. Whereas on Viaduct, the point is like kind of exposed. You know, obviously there's rocks on each side of it, but if you're playing on your rock, there's no way they can just like cap in front of your face.
Yeah, that makes
Uh,
sense.
and your flank can more easily. I mean, you only have one flank, so also your pocket soldier is a little bit more like available to bomb, I would say, because he's not like stuck watching a flank. So the dynamic is a little bit different on that map. And then also your flank scout a lot of times can just play central with you like at all times because he doesn't also have to like watch a flank like
Yeah, true.
super committed. So it's a little bit different role wise, like where people are allocated. But I think the general principle of like healing the guy who's, you know, fighting at the front and people cycling heals can be applied to, you know, any fight really, any team fight.
Yeah, yeah, okay.
Okay. Were there any other bagel questions or issues that you guys would want to sort of
Uh,
I
clear
have
up?
a I have a
Slight,
question about. for the perspective of the roamer.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in is mainly in the matches when we were playing against better teams.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I I'd always get like I could never really get free space in the right house. Um, so their soldier was always hitting the first rocket when I try to walk in.
Oh, so he's like pushed up.
So I tried like rotating towards the point,
Mm-hmm.
playing on the roof to try and help us spam and get a
Mm-hmm.
buff real quick, and then try and go to right house.
Yeah.
But um, then I just started eating pipes every time going on the roof. So
Yeah.
I don't really know how to
Yeah.
get into right house
Yeah.
without being at like 150.
Yeah. Okay.
Or like losing all my buff. I
So,
guess.
a couple things that are going to be relevant because it is kind of a complicated situation.
Hold on. Sorry, you could wait
Yep.
just a second. Okay, sorry, my sound.
Are you good now?
Yeah, my sound messed up for a second. I can hear you now.
Okay. Okay, cool. So, okay, a couple things. First one is like if you just I assume he's like standing up here and shooting down at you, right?
Yeah.
That's where you're losing your buff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, you could, just spam him off and like even one rocket on him is going to force him back. So, if you can just be like somewhat careful about that, you can be splashing like down here, the back wall, like if you get this guy down to like 150 or something, he's going to be very vulnerable over here. So, you could just sort of fish for that from like some weird angles, whether that be like you jump up here first and then just like pre-fire that and then once you've hit the rocket, then you go in, or um you could do it from like even at main, just sort of like be here and you'll be a little bit safer to like put spam because you're not going to take like 80 damage on that roof. So this can be an easy place to go. You could, blind peek it like that. You could have your scout potentially like lead through here and hit him first and like get that rocket out of him potentially. But um, honestly, those are small adjustments that you can make. I think the most important thing actually is that the rest of your team try to help you a little bit more often. So for example, like if your pocket is too locked in right here, um, he may be missing out on opportunities to like just throw a rocket like that, because that could soften that guy up. Your combo scout on the point, or if he ever comes on the roof, he could like see that soldier potentially and like shoot him in the side. Your demo sitting like right here can also throw stickies in there. So those are some things that are also going to really like swing that fight in your favor, because literally all they have to do is hit the guy with like one chip shot from this angle, and that guy's going to be way, way more vulnerable. As far as this roof goes, it's sort of the same thing. Like people on this side of the map, like their pocket should be making sure there's no traps on that roof, or your combo scout can spot that so that you're never like jumping up here blind and just like insta giving. But anytime that you're on this roof, or anytime you're in high ground as general as a soldier, your mindset shouldn't be I'm getting on the roof. Oh shit, they're spamming me. It should be I'm getting up here so that they look at me, so that every time that I get focused, it's like on my own terms. And so you're never getting caught, but you're sort of recognizing that moment when you've done your job. Okay, they're shooting me, which means they're not shooting this guy that's on the point, and then you disengage and you're out. So you're not really trying to stand there to like maximize your damage. You're trying to stand there to maximize like the enemy team's like focus fire on you. Um, and you never really want to die in like mid range on the height. So if you ever find that you're dying because you got hit by a sticky and then, or like two stickies and a pipe, and you got counter jumped and a scout's chasing you, you probably stayed too long. So you need to just try to recognize that moment a little bit sooner of the point of kind of no return, basically. So a lot of times you're just gonna jump up square, and if the demo is looking at you, like it's already time to like start surfing that sticky out, or jumping out, and you've done your job, as long as it's just more in that controlled fashion. Because the roof isn't a bad spot, and it can help, to make sure that they can't push this side of the point for free, you know. But if you're dying like first death here a lot, then that is going to be a big problem for your team. And then the last thing I would say is that your combo scout has a little bit more freedom to rotate to the flank than maybe you might think. So a lot of people, this is the main thing that I keep trying to emphasize on this map is just I think too many people have a very rigid mindset on this map. Like they just see it as these 3 lanes that you cannot deviate from. But if you're trying to push this guy on the right, it could be perfectly acceptable for your combo scout to like fall back, bring the beam here, and just like you guys just bully this guy out real quick, and then your combo scout can rotate right back to the point. So you can get a lot more support on the flank. Like when I played combo scout on this map, I was constantly like, say my roamer might die pushing this, my combo scout could come in here and just trade out that kill, Because if you just like, oh well, good luck on that fight, and then you die, and then that guy gets out with 20 HP over and over and over, that's a kill that could easily be secured by your scout, and it would be worth it to close out that kill and just like, again, not focus too much on getting the cap time or whatever, but instead focus more on the big picture, the numbers. So having your combo scout a little more willing to rotate out of here to help each soldier when they're calling that they're fighting can also go a long way, and your demo can maybe like cover your scout's back as he disengages from the point to come trade out this kill. Another thing that I like to do a lot is if we're approaching the point, sort of our first like steps in are from lower right. A lot of times I'll just bring my combo to support the right house just as our first first contact with the enemy team, and just clear that out and set my roamer up to like control that so that then we can rotate here and not have to worry about any of that cross spam. So potentially you can bring your heals over there, your combo over there, things like that a little more often than you might think. And I guess maybe the last thing that I would encourage you to think about is like when you might have the opportunity to go deep as a roamer. Because again, if you're just in this very rigid mindset of I have to watch the right house at all times, you might be missing out on opportunities where you could bomb in and go deep. Like if they have a soldier down, say it's the soldier that's on their plat, he's not going to be able to shove through as hard. So maybe you could just jump over their heads and go behind them. Or they have a scout who's like getting cap time. You see ×2 on the point. Maybe you could use that opportunity to just send it over their heads and go behind them, because you're just going to fly right over that scout's head, and then he has to turn his back, and then your combo can like shoot them. Or another jump you could potentially do is like, say there is that guy in the right house, maybe you just fly over his head, and now you shoot him in the back, and now you're in their lobby, and now they're chasing you, and that just created a ton of space. Things like that can potentially get you out of this just like really annoying like spam battle in this stairwell. You know what I mean? What are some other options? I mean, it could be a little bit risky, but you could counter jump him from here, things like that. Yeah, just sprinkling in these different approaches could help, I guess. I think when I reviewed your guys' demo, it did seem like you were over here like very independently, so there wasn't a lot of like assistance coming from your combo. So I think that would be maybe one of the big things to strive for in the future, is just making sure that you and your combo are working together a little bit more with like those cross spams, and maybe with a little bit more heals or combo scout presence like weaving through there occasionally.
All right, that sounds good. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Any other questions on Bagel?
I don't think I have any.
Okay. Then I can go ahead and load up this demo here. Right here. So Gully Wash. So what was going on in this game?
Well, we were on last the whole game. If I remember
see.
this game, it was like last the entire game.
Yeah, no, this is last simulator.
Bad mids then?
Actually, I think we won some of the mids.
Okay.
So
Just couldn't carry the momentum.
yeah, maybe
Okay.
I'm misremembering, but
Okay.
It was a weird game.
Okay.
Definitely weird.
Okay, let's see. First sticky. Scouts got through, it looks like, so First sticky could be a little bit earlier. Okay, so your demo's up here. You've got one scout on the ground, one scout coming up left. Both soldiers in your big door. Scout's already rushing up. One sticky on the med. Okay. Looks like you guys are taking your side. They have a soldier lower left fighting your scout. Your scout is extremely weak on the ground. The other soldier's going up their drop down. Okay. Your soldier went to your drop down to stuff this guy. Your scout had to leave big door, I think. Okay. So you got 2 kills, one up their drop down, one down your drop down. So now you guys can probably push because your soldier has their exit. Big pipe on the med. Your soldier is fighting for his life in their choke, but not really seeing the forward presence from one of your scouts here. But you will win this eventually. You get the demo. You already have a lot of cap time. Soldier splits off to big door. Sees them leaving lobby. You guys get through choke for free. Okay, this is fine. They are going to get spawns, but no demo. So this would be a bad death if it happens. Fired 1 rocket too many probably there. So let me just check that. I think up there in river, a lot of times you may not realize how alone you are because your team is not going to have a sight line to get through to help you up there for a long, long time. So here you're okay. The moment I see both scouts here, I'm jumping out probably. So this rocket should have been a jump, but you ended up shooting it. So this death shouldn't be the end of the world because they're still down demo. Oh, your demo jumping into them. That's a little dangerous. Sometimes teams will like pressure this to like draw all the attention there and shove people through shutter. So a lot of times I'm kind of just trying to be patient and just carpeting that off so that they can't recontest. Good spam. Nice, you get a kill. So on Gully, anytime you get a kill like this or any damage, like you should just try and roll it through because you can get so much pressure on the cap. Any kill can get you a force basically because that means one more person that has to like concede all of their presence to like go fight you in water or, you know, contest the point. And that opens up a lot of room. So off of this one scout pick, I would like to see you guys try and make something happen. We'll see what it looks like from their perspective here. Your soldier's in just alone. So usually I would want to see my combo already like poking somewhere before your soldier sends it here. Because you're probably going to die before there's any pressure from your combo. Their med goes down to 40 HP. Someone else could go for that, but no one else goes. Okay, you could have afforded to send a 2-man there because it was 5v5. So that would have been a force, or if there's just a little bit more, you know, presence. One small tip that I'll give you, which we'll see if this is relevant, you know, throughout the rest of this demo, is this map can be really hard for a combo scout to do much because it's so choky. So your combo scout should feel a little bit more freedom to go for things like water plays and like dungeon plays. These are 2 areas where I find that if a combo scout runs in here and, you know, they always have the option of retreating back to your team, they can be creating a little bit of impact just based on, you know, isolating people and fighting them with 185 or even just getting cap time or, you know, just something better than just standing here watching a tiny doorway that you can't get through. So they're just counter-sacking in through lobby. You guys get forced. So your soldier's here, jumps in, dies to a trap. Your demo feeds as well. I think you should have cut your losses there once your soldier wasn't getting anything. So that just ends up getting messy. So far that's 2 pushes into last kind of where you didn't use water. So just take note of that. I think water is going to be one of your best tools to just keep the other team like hyper paranoid. So where is your sniper? Out big door? Okay. I'm trying to get an arrow. Okay. Sniper in big door is not too bad. Scout is just hiding up here. Fighting. I'm just blocking the cap, I guess. Tries to get on the med, but it's just a solo sack. You guys are all out. Okay. So this sniper, you should probably expect them to pop through. What do you have trapped? So usually just by convention, my demo should be trapping big door because it's just the hardest area to like hold. but I'm not seeing any traps unless they're like, oh, in choke. Yep. Okay, so you had a choke trap set up early enough. Nice det there. You dropped the med. They're probably going to feed in. So we'll see how that goes. Oh, scout 1v1's on the ground. So at this point, it's starting to get a little dicey. At this point, I'd already be like, okay, now that they got that pick, they're going to be much more like bold to go for this sack. So you might want to just back up. In fact, you lose 2, and then they just collapse on you. So after dropping their med, rather than like trying to go forward and fight all their full health players and like putting yourself in the center where you can just get collapsed on, a lot of times it's just smarter to just chill there. Yeah, your sniper might die, whatever. Fuck your sniper. Play for the Uber. Play big picture there. So yeah. So now you guys already spawned an NG. I mean, I think you maybe could have known that you could contest second here, but a lot of times these situations where their med dies, as well, it's going to be a race to who can control choke. If you guys don't like rush here to lock this down and they're already through, then it's going to be too late. But I think potentially you could have been meeting them here. But now that they're already through, it's too late. So this is where you can throw rounds. So this is something to try to avoid. Your soldier committed, unless he gets something like incredible, this fight is probably not worth taking. Just positioning wise, you guys have to get through a shutter door and you have to like fight into all this open space that they already control. It's not worth it. So this is a big area to just get in the habit of cutting your losses. Because if you guys all in here and lose this fight, I mean, they'll just roll it straight into last. So just be aware of that. This is another common thing here. Not clearing big door or spotting big door. Because if you just run through the shutter in a straight line here, these people are blasting in the side. Like your scout here just took half damage when there was 2 people there, and they should have already seen like this is not a good fight to take. The other thing is your people up top can get bombed from big door. So forcing fights out of last into second when you haven't like locked down the choke is a lot of times a throw. So your soldier just died, did half damage to the med. Your other scout's committed. He's down to 1 HP. Your other soldier's hard committing. And the whole time your demo is not even involved in the fight. So your soldier dies. So you just lost 3 for, some damage, but no guaranteed kills. And so they have the opportunity now to just roll into your last.
I have a question about that.
Mm-hmm.
So I think even if we had like taken all the proper precautions there, I think we would have just, and if we were judging things properly, we would have just realized that we can't fight that because they were quicker to choke. They got through before we could really establish ourselves on second.
Yeah.
But what would be the right approach to racing to the choke? So I rolled out with Lamb in my pocket scout through river. Sounds like maybe that wasn't the right idea. Maybe we should have gone cutter instead, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
what we have done.
I would agree that when you're in that race to hold choke, it needs to be like the fastest route. So in this case, it would have been best to just go straight through lobby and through the shutter. Yeah, river. This is another common mistake that a lot of people make on this map is that they just think going river is always the default thing to do. So if you're pushing their second, you have add. If you just went straight lobby, for example, you could be rolling into last, but instead you go here and you waste all this time and you're climbing up and then you're crossing this and then you're crossing this and now you're walking down this long river. And it's like, why do all of that when you could just go straight across, So on maps that are like super choky, whether it be gully, whether it be, granary, I don't know if you guys ever play that, but choke maps, they require like decisiveness and they require you to like be very respectful of these like timings. If you miss the timing, you lose because you're not getting out. Like you're fucked. There's no escape. Or you just insta-gib in the doorway. So you either need to be in or just fucking out. You don't really want to be caught in no man's land or in the choke. Okay. So hold on. Let me just go back one more time here. Just so I can see the exact spawn timings you guys had. Okay. So you guys all died here. Their med has already spawned. So your scout is alive. Here, it would be useful for your scout to like stay here, just like spotting. Looks like you got another forwards as well, actually. Okay, so they're not in yet. So you guys could have already been like spotting second from the safety of the forward spawn, like right here. I think that would have been good. You already spawned an NG. So they're not in yet. Let's see. Okay, your demo spawns now. So your demo is about to spawn. Your soldier has already started going river. I think it's okay for your soldier because you weren't going to fight this without a demo anyways. So let's see if you went lobby, and then if you would have peeked this right now, it's already too late. So I don't think it even mattered what route you took. You were too late just off of your spawn being delayed. So
Okay.
probably wouldn't have been fightable regardless, unless you're like sniper, someone spawned like a sniper in here and they were afraid to bust or something like that. But once they're already through that choke, it's probably too late. Yeah. So you're just holding last. I don't, well, it's a tough call, but when you're down 3 here, it might not be viable for you to just trap the point. You might have to trap a choke. I don't know. It could go either way, but if they start flooding in here, that might be harder to counteract. But okay, you guys stall them long enough. You spawn up a heavy and a pyro. That should be okay. Usually I like that heals to be committed on the pyro because I don't want my pyro to just like die into their team. Oh, your soldier got a kill on Balk. Okay, that buys you a little bit of time. Counter sack in a river. Decent damage on this demo. Like really good damage. He's down to 30 HP. Are you guys getting that kill? Nope. Okay, but you have Uber. So you should be able to stabilize now. Sentry gun going up. Okay, your sentry's kind of tucked away, but that should be okay. Okay, you get that kill. Nice. They're still pressuring river. Your pyro's just dead. If your med's here and your pyro's there, that's not gonna work. Your pyro relies on getting tanked. So either your pyro needs to play closer to your med, or your med needs to play closer to your pyro. But having them just on opposite sides of last isn't gonna work. Okay, so whenever you're down 1, just make sure you're spotting river, because that's when they're gonna start sending people in. So you just saw that scout go in there. Usually, for me, convention is my roamer is first priority to contest anyone river or water. So I wouldn't, yeah, I wouldn't have my roamer on Balk here. He should already be contesting this guy. This guy got way too much like cap time. Their demo's just walking in. Your mid got dropped. Okay. So to me, this just looks like a case of not kind of having your positioning or roles like clearly assigned. So it's basically goes like this. Roamer watches river and is the first priority to stuff people in on the point. Don't necessarily need to like go in water, but if you get 300, it can be worth it to just like go in water and just prevent him from ever getting to the point. Pocket is sort of assisting at watching any of the front doors, because a lot of times they're going to rotate to try to spam like your sentry from these doors, and your soldiers just kind of like stuffing accordingly. Your demo is also kind of just helping accordingly, just can kind of play to meet their combo essentially wherever their combo goes. So their demo doesn't get to walk in for free. So if their demo is ever showing themselves in river, your demo is trapping out river. If their demo shows themselves in lobby, you're trapping out, Balk and Shutter, things like that. Then your NG is fine. They can just play spawn and shotgun people that come in. Your other scout should be, well, I guess you had a pyro at one point. They can just play, again, either at the spawn if they're off-classing to snipe, or they can play with the medic. Should kind of look like that, I guess. So to me, this looked like they just got through river because, well, your roamer got pulled out of position due to the guy getting too much cap time, and then your demo also overreacted maybe and wasn't stuffing out where their combo was. Your pocket was also going for a play, so that meant that he wasn't able to watch anything. But see how this demo is in river? Your demo should already be like meeting them there with stickies, so that he can't be doing this. Because these stickies on the point end up, and then look at him just walking in. These stickies on the point end up rolling your soldier, I think. Yeah. But this is kind of insane that this guy's allowed to do this. So just to like simplify it, kind of the way that you just stuffed him right there, that's what I want to see from your demo. Maybe be careful about like walking so close, but even just like starting to lay out carpets so that demo was never allowed to get in the first place would have been ideal. Okay, so you guys do get the counter force. You still have a sentry gun. Nice juggle. Your sentry goes down. Soldier gets pressured. Med gets killed. Nice job. So now you guys have spawners coming up. If no one dies here, you can use your heals to bully them out. But it looks like you guys are just opting to hold. You got to move fast if you're going to go off that, but it's really not going to happen. 20 ad might be too little to push off of unless you got another kill like right now. Okay. Hood's pushing baby door. He's about to get pounced on by a scout. No one assisted whatsoever. I would hope that would be called like, you know, they're fighting baby door, but your demo is here. Could have put stickies there. Your scout could have rotated in, so you just lost your soldier. You guys call it off. Okay, you should expect them to do something, you know, off of that pick. So it's good to trap the front. Sniper goes into river alone. Instagib. Okay. Now they're just shoving in through river. Scout gets on the point. Okay. So one thing that may be going on right now is your pocket might be getting a little too aggro in lobby because it seems like there's a lot of times where they're just shoving past. Let's just see this one more time. So soldier spawns. And then you bomb that guy out. They start shoving in. You could be going for that kill right now, but you start walking into lobby. You could be counter jumping the guy on point. Okay. Huh. The demo gets in again. So they just got a lot of cap time here. Let me see what happened to your roamer. Just looking for a spy or something. Okay. Okay, your scout dies, or your sniper. Scout went water. Soldier on balk. Soldier in. So that guy went in water and you didn't even react to it. He's just beelining straight to the point. So just having a little bit more, yeah, clear priorities there. Like when your roamer sees someone go in water, he's watching for that, you know? Not worried about that guy in. You got to trust that your combo scout, pocket, demo, whatever can deal with that guy. Because right now, that cap time was what actually lost you the round. Okay. Next mid. Let's see. First sticky. Missed again. Well, I guess he jumped into it, but okay. Their demo gets chip shot a little. Soldier fades out. Okay. So just to like note, you guys are super split right now. You have four on this side, two on this side. I personally don't like playing mids like this. Because I find that these people often die without much ability to follow up on it, or they just end up like basically too weak just sitting on the ground. But okay. So they have a guy up here drop down. They're all in their choke. Minus this guy in drop down, of course. I like the patience from your soldier in drop though. Because you are kind of baiting this guy to just sit here because he's afraid of you. So one good way to play that is just anytime you're in drop down, people on this side should be spotting for you and never go up drop down unless they're not looking for you or unless there's like a huge collapse coming in from the front. So now they just opt to basically go forward off their guy up drop down and they're ignoring your guy here. So they just hold W and your mid starts backing out. He's going to get chased. Probably going to die. Unfortunate. Okay, let's see that mid again though. So the question is, how does a guy get in your drop down unseen if that is what's happening? Go. So he jumps down here. And no one's spotting him from the ground. So he just immediately goes up your drop down. He's just chilling here. No one's even looking for him. He gets your scout. Okay. So here's what I might suggest as a alternative here. Your scout that's right here, they can stop here just for a little bit longer. Because then they will see both sides of the ground from this position. You'll have a lot better vision of how the fight is unfolding. But it was the moment you jumped to this position, you lost sight of the second soldier. And you really tunneled that guy. And at this point, maybe you could have realized that the other soldier is like missing. You could have been looking for him. But he was, just out of your vision. And then you end up dying there. So I usually like to chill here a little bit longer. I can even chip shot that guy when he's crossing to make him like not want to go up drop down because he'll know that we already saw him. Let's see other perspectives as well. I will say that I personally, when I play Combo Scout on this map, I like to be the one to pressure the demo just because I usually will get healed like late in the fight. So it's nice to, pressure him and then rotate out to get healed. Whereas your flank scout a lot of times is not going to be able to get those heals as reliably. But the other thing here just to notice is like your flank scout here isn't looking to the left like whatsoever, just very locked in on looking to the right. So that's another reason that guy goes through. If you have a guy going in their drop down, like a lot of times your roamer is kind of the police of the floor here. But if your roamer's going there drop down, I guess you just need to be extra aware that your drop down is somewhat vulnerable. One other way you can play is to kill this guy in the ground. You could have your flank scout roll out over here and just like get this angle because then he can shoot down on anyone down here. And that can be pretty effective. But okay. And then I guess the last thing here is it does look like your demo rollout might be slightly slow because a lot of times you should be hitting that sticky on them as they're getting through. So I'm not sure if you're doing it, but you should be charging your sticky right as you cross this. So that the instant you turn the corner on choke, you are firing your sticky like right now. But it's coming in like maybe 1 second later and it's not as charged because you'll potentially hit like both scouts or like even the soldier, the medic, whatever, like right here if you aim for that. And then that will also allow you to get another sticky out on anyone like more in the mid range or, whatever. Because right now it looks like you're only getting one sticky out and then they're out. But if you shoot that sticky just slightly earlier, you can get a second sticky for a little bit more damage. And sometimes you'll hit that roamer who's trying to jump through. Sometimes you'll hit, the medic, scouts, whatever. It's, just gonna like double your early presence. So, yeah. But I was saying something about not playing the mids like the split 4 and 2. I've opted lately, anytime we're gonna send people like to their choke, like to commit on the demo, I opt to like rotate heals to the right. So you guys could consider that if the mids generally aren't going well for you and you like tend to lose your flank players. If you're sending a guy up their drop down, I think it could be okay to do it like this because then you have more of like a pinch type thing going on. So that's not bad. But actually, I want to watch that mid from the pocket POV just to see kind of how you guys are playing that in response to you guys having a guy in there drop down and stuff. Come through. High bomb up. Soldier's pretty weak there on the ground. Okay. So that guy jumps out. So now their big door is somewhat available. Oh, that guy's weak. Okay, so your scout is already flanking up their elbow. And your soldier is also flanking their choke. This would have been a good time for a fade, like a high bomb, instead of this spam angle. So like right when you came down here and people said that they could flank, you can high bomb off this wall and sort of intercept them on the middle of the point. That could have been good. You end up getting a good collapse late there. Would have been nice to get the med, but yeah, Also, when that soldier jumped out, that could have also been an earlier timing that you could have started moving down here, because you did stand here when he was like already conceding big door, and then you could have been here earlier in position, drawing eyes. This is a pretty good spam angle. Like you'll splash a lot of people if they're all crowded around here, but I think just a fade earlier would have stalled them from pushing the point because they all just like ran away from your flankers. So you could try to just high bomb a little bit earlier if you're sending a guy up there drop down, so that they're looking at you and he gets a good flank. So you're on the last hold. This time you got the sniper, pyro, and NG. Okay. You've got demo in water. And where's everyone else? Where's the roamer? Your roamer's sniper. Okay. So demo's in water. Sticky's there. It's not bad, you know. Pyro on Balk. Okay, so this is gonna be bad. Their combo's getting in through shutter, and your pyro is like kind of in no man's land. So you just gotta make a decision. Is your pyro gonna sit on the sentry, or is your pyro gonna stuff the chokes? And right now, your pyro is kind of just in the middle of nowhere, not being healed. So this is gonna make him probably just insta out of this Uber. So he dies there, kind of for nothing. Your pyro can single-handedly hold this last if you invest in it. So I would like to see you guys adjust that. I can talk a little bit more about it later, but yeah, right now that seems to be a consistent problem with the pyro. So you're just counter jumping the point. You got your heavy. Okay, looks like a hold. Okay, there's two in front. You see them all. You guys should be moving forward. Like, you don't need to clear water. You just saw that soldier in lobby. You know they're all out, so you guys can start moving up. You have spawn soon. So this is going to be another race scenario because you guys both spawned at the exact same time on both teams. So a lot of times here, I'm not going to worry as much about like capping, but locking out the choke. So your soldier here could just try to bomb forward and like pressure this guy out, maybe get this kill, sit above choke or spot choke deep, something like that, so that you're not just like conceding this door. So we'll see. It's going to be a race. And you guys lost the race. Like they're through choke. So hopefully you guys don't commit to this. Okay, you guys are committing to it. Soldier dies. Scout dies. 0 cap time. So it's basically GG. Demo dies. So this kind of exact same thing happened twice. So you guys had add too. You could have just like had all those people live, and then you could have used your Uber right now while you were 6 up, and this would have been okay. But instead, you lost 3 people, forcing a fight that was unfavorable, and now they are pushing your last. They're probably going to force you. You guys end up popping. Probably could have milked that. Once you got your spawners, I think you could have milked that. Because you already had a demo pick, it would have been nice to hold the Uber so that you could try to get through onto second with Uber still in your back pocket. So there's a guy in water. You guys are starting to get cap time. You should know they have Uber now. So medic positioning is super important. Being here versus being there could be death. So your medic really shouldn't be committing onto the top of the point right now. Your med should be playing an exit. And yeah, now you're fucked. So the Uber comes in. Your med's trying to run. Barely gets out. You still have second, so maybe you can stall for your spawners. Your med lives. Okay, good job. So they're kind of throwing right now by chasing instead of getting cap time. You get a demo kill. So you guys could potentially start pushing this out.
I think we generally have difficulty with pushing out a goalie watch last, like
Yeah.
in a timely manner. I think almost every single time we do, by the time we have like cleared stuff, if we have to clear stuff, and like wiggled our way through the doors, it's their team has already basically spawned.
Right. So let's just like look at how much time you guys are spending here. Like the moment their demo dies, I should start seeing like just momentum of your team moving forward. So let's just check. Okay, demo just died. 35 seconds, or let's say 2011 is the time left. We're standing still in building. Standing still in building, starting to move now. Okay, it's already been 5 seconds. Still in last. Still in last. Still hesitating. What are we doing? I would have already peeked the shutter out of last by now. It's already been 10 seconds and you went from here to there on a demo pick. Okay. Clearing lobby. Okay. Okay, we got a soldier peeking at least. We see both scouts on height, so your demo can be bullying those people. Are we going to do this or not? Let's see. So the demo's still dead. You guys get through the door at least off of him being dead. You just need to not insta-gib now so that this demo pick is still relevant. Your soldier jumps straight into a scout's face. Probably a mistake. A fade here would have been better. So now that your soldier died for nothing, you should just leave. I mean, you wasted maybe 5 or so seconds, and then your soldier just died for nothing. So, I mean, didn't really look like you guys attempted to push very hard on that. So now you're just holding last. Okay, they have a spy. You got a pyro, sentry. Pyro's here, med here. You should be together. Pyro's moving over towards river. So I wouldn't usually play my pyro close on a door if we are on even Ubers. I would only usually do that if I'm on disad, to be honest. But I mean, it could work, but it's just you don't really want your med getting close to the door. I feel like if he's forcible. So it feels a little less stable to me. So the spy comes in. They sack off of that sap. You hold the Uber. Demo and river spamming for free. Demo's still in river. You guys still have 2 picks. But taking forever. So by the time you even like start peeking river, boom, they just spawned other people. So super slow to move off of picks on last, it seems.
That may have been, if I remember correctly, I called that someone is in water
Okay.
because someone had jumped down, but they left,
Mhm.
and I didn't see them leave. So I thought they were still in water. So I think that's why we had 2 people checking,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that ruined our. Yeah.
Okay.
So that
I
was just
get
my
you.
fault for not seeing that they left.
Sure. Well, let's see. How many people go to check it? Your pyro goes, your scout goes. Everyone's going. Nothing there. So, your whole combo like stayed back for that. That can potentially be something that you just trust like someone to deal with. Or notice how your soldier's like resupping. Just leave him to block the point and just go. Because if he just was told like, yo, you're just sit on last for a few seconds while we start the cap or clear other stuff or spot other players in front, you can sort of like be doing both things at once basically. But if you all halt to just hunt for this guy, you're gaining like no chance of capping second. A lot of times you're gonna recognize that there's no one in water by coming here and be like, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we see them all or something like that. But if you never even peek onto second, you're just going to be like chasing a ghost back here the whole time that you could have just spotted him in front and you're not getting back capped basically. So I usually will, yeah. If I ever have a soldier alive, but we have multiple picks, or if I have like a spawner coming up in like a couple seconds right before a push, I'll just tell him sit on last. We'll start the cap. We'll spot their players, and if we see them all, you move off of last kind of thing. Okay, so this guy jumps into water. Once again, your pyro is like way split from your med. Your roamer is not dealing with the guy water. They're bombing in. You should have traps there. Your mid is getting forced. So it's kind of consistent over and over and over. It's like the same thing. The guy in water isn't being like dealt with by your roamer, and then the people are getting in through river because your demo's not like denying it, or because your medic is kind of alone over here, because your pyro keeps moving over here. Your sentry isn't like near your medic. So your hold could just be a lot more stable if people played in the correct positions with an understanding of their roles. So they popped somewhere in river or something. That's weird. I'm not sure what they're trying to do. Maybe a misclick. Your pyro is stuffing them pretty well. Doesn't need to die for this. Good job. They might still try to push since they have a soldier pick. Doesn't look like it, so they just misclicked there, I guess. Time's getting low, so this is when you might want to expect that they'll go for like a 4-man or an exchange. I guess you guys are trying to push out on this, but it's only 20 ad. If you guys get these picks in lobby though, and this could be a pretty reasonable push to take. Oh, you drop your scout and soldier and get forced. So now it's a disaster. Just hold last. Get that pyro out immediately if possible. Oh, you get another pick. Okay, nice. That kind of bailed your team out. And you got the force off that. But 30 seconds left. I would say, honestly, at this point, just commit to turtling. They have to all in. They don't have time to get Uber, so this should be pretty easy if you just hold the doors. Could be good to bust out a heavy or something as well. Trying to build, but just notice, like, there's 15 seconds. You don't have time to get Uber. So I would just not... They don't have time to get Uber. You don't have time to get Uber. Don't worry about Uber anymore. Don't worry about building. Just turtle. Everyone should be fully buffed before this push. And here comes their feed. They're trying to push river. Spamming it. Okay. Reset. Okay. Next mid. Oh, your demo is very slow. So they just get through big door completely unscathed. Okay. You got a scout going up. 2 soldiers on the ground. Scout getting forward presence, pushing a roamer. Soldier lands on your side. Scout in your choke. Soldier already weak on the ground. So this mid's already off to a really rough start. A trade is about the best you could look for here. Look how aggressive they're getting across the point, though. So something's got to, like, intercept them here. Okay. So I think what's potentially leading to this is your scout jumping into your choke. He's getting baited to play super passive, and so he can't really challenge them at the front. What the fuck is this? Why do you have someone rolling out river? Okay, that's weird. Let's see what happens. Right at this moment when you're back in choke, that guy that was on the ground just jumped point. I guess one of them does go up drop down though. But they're also just shoving forward right now. So they're trying to bait you guys back into choke, it looks like. You're kind of taking the bait. Let me see the soldier POV here. And the demo POV, I guess. So first sticky goes into big door way too late. So they're already through there. Second sticky goes a little far on the point. Okay. So because you're so slow, your timing is like off. You're shooting at timings as if you arrived on time because they're already through there and they're already past that ledge there. So they're already pushing the point. And
Yeah, can you see why I fucked up my rollout?
sure, I can go back. It looked like you might have just landed in the middle of lobby. Oh, your sticky was
that's why.
too high.
Yeah.
So you didn't get enough height. So you ended up on balk, and then you landed here as well. So you're really slow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm just easy to fix, I suppose. Soldier does this high bomb. Tries to put a rocket on the guy on the ground. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So look at this. Your scout is fighting drop down, and then your soldier comes back. So you end up having 2 people like go for that. But if either one of them would have like been looking forward, it probably would have been a little bit better. So I think you guys should just
Can
make
we
a
just commit our soldier to that? So our pocket scout can be looking
yeah,
forward.
whatever you guys want to do. But having 2 people get baited out of position ends up being bad here, I think. So you guys can decide who it's going to be. If you want it to be your pocket, that's fine. One play I've seen that you could consider, potentially is Your pocket, if you see someone going drop down, he could even just like skip jump through here and stuff that guy like immediately. But just consider whether it's better for your scout to be looking forward, and your soldier to be like stalling the enemy team with like a fade bomb or something, or if it's better for your scout to be stuffing them and your soldier to go back. Another way you could even handle it is your demo can back up here and just lay some stickies there, and he can just play from here so that drop down isn't really a threat, and you can sort of just like avoid him or bait him into a trap so you don't even send anyone there, because drop down is a huge mind game. So I think, yeah, it's good that you guys just have a convention for how you want to like play around it. You don't want to like get baited into scrambling all your resources to deal with it, because a lot of soldiers just use it as like a fake out and they bait you guys out of the mid and then their whole team just pushes forward kind of thing. Another thing you can do is just have your roamer play the ground and he just plays the lower left. So it's a little bit more defensive. You know, you got to decide if that's worth it. Would you rather be threatening their drop down or denying your drop down? You know, which one's more valuable to you guys? But
What do you
yeah.
think about if we just know their soldiers always going drop down, just sending both of our soldiers to deal with it right at the beginning of the fight?
I mean, if you can generate a pick off of it fast enough, I think it can be okay. You just don't want to, again, have your whole mid be focused on dealing with that guy, and now they can just hold W freely because their scouts don't have to look at a bombing soldier. You know what I mean? So it's
All right, that makes sense.
it is viable. You know, it just depends how quickly and efficiently you can do it. Like, what's the setup that you want to do? Are you trying to send both your soldiers to the ground? They shoot this guy, and then they both end up at 80 HP, and now they just get rolled? Like, that might not be worth it. But, you know, maybe you send one soldier on the ground. He's like putting spam rockets on that guy so that he's too weak to commit. And then your other soldier maybe like goes down, drop down, or jumps like Hood just did over there to like shoot him in the back. You know, that can work. But yeah, it's just about how you want to sort of achieve that. I think drop down can be like a round losing thing if you neglect it. So it is worthwhile to have a plan, but a bad plan can lose you the round just the same. So yeah.
Okay.
But it's just a lot of little things. Like if your first sticky isn't hitting that roamer and he's getting in your drop down with like a buff, that's pretty dangerous. If your scouts are both rolling out in positions where they're not spotting that, you know, that's pretty dangerous. Just things like that, they can add up as well. So I just feel like you guys maybe could go into the mid with a little bit more of assigned roles or something, or just kind of like fundamentals of like what has to happen on the mid. Like your demo has to hit the scouts and potentially see the soldier jumping a drop down. Your scout has to spot lower left a little bit more. You know, who's going to deal with drop down if he goes in there? Just assign those roles and like make sure people are doing them and see how the mid goes. Okay, so now you guys are holding last. Again, you got the sniper in river hitting some shots. Trying to follow up a little bit on that. Got the force. Okay, big play. So full ad to push out of last. Let's see how this one goes. This guy tries to counterstack. You even get a free soldier pick. You get 2. Nice. So start moving. Let's go. You got still an NG, still a soldier sitting here. So only 3 people pushed out. You did get another kill off that. Sniper hiding behind the point. Uh-oh. So that guy kills your med. He's still there, still there, still there. Okay, you get that kill. Soldier trying to flank. Going for the all-in at choke. That should be a med kill. Nice job. Now you just got to play to live. So I did notice that 3 people were slow to push out. Usually my rule of thumb is like, if we get 2 picks, I switch off NG. Because that was, again, a scenario where you could have just had your soldier sit on last. But you had 3 people kind of hanging back. Okay. So are you guys going to hold this or not? Are they going to bust choke before you get here? This can be a good time to just like set up a carpet or something here to just make them too afraid to try to get through. But looks like you guys spawn in time. You're going to get here. Maybe you'll think they have slight ad. Not sure. On like super slight disad, this spot can be okay. But if this was like a 25, 30 ad for them, you would still die here because you have no exit route. So just be aware of that. A lot of times I'll just play up top until I'm sure I'm gonna get Uber, and then I'll maybe play out here after that. So let's see how you guys are holding this. So you have a soldier and demo in big door. Oh, you have a scout hiding here as well. So you're trying to set up like a bait or something. Okay. Soldier spotting choke. So you guys are spread a little bit thin regards to choke. You get a trap kill, okay. You get another kill. Okay, awesome. So your setup results in 2 kills. Let's see how you guys push this. So you have one soldier at choke who could potentially, go drop down or something. You got your rest of your people here at big door. Start moving through. Your soldier gets in clean. Your scout gets in. This guy's isolated, so you guys jump him. I like this. He's super weak. They're getting baited forward. You get that kill. So they're... Oh, and their mid falls down. Okay. So they are completely fucked. You guys get forced. Okay, you pop. The moment you guys pop this, you should be moving your Uber towards their choke. Because their spawners want to come in, right? So your soldier dies alone. Your scout's on height. You got a scout flanking. He does not win the fight. Your other scout dies for nothing, so... Okay. So they were down 3 here. People really just needed to live for the post-Uber. But too many people just went for plays. Your scout ended up leaving your medic as well. So this is a little bit odd. Well, okay. Your flank scout was already in position, I guess. Your combo scout just goes to choke. I mean, they're down 2, so it shouldn't really matter. But then the moment where this really starts to go wrong is when your scout that's right here, like, walks forward and neglects that there's like a demo and scout shooting in the side here, and then ends up kind of zoned out by their combo. And then at this moment doesn't go right to your medic as well and just stay with your medic. Like you're actively running away and getting isolated by the Uber when you play like this. And then you beef the jump. Okay, you have another chance to get back to your medic. But you still stay here. And now you're trying to push with 40 HP and get shot in the back again. Okay. So you guys just spread out way too much there. Like you had one guy here, one guy here, one guy there, one guy here. Like you spread out way too much. And they just were able to isolate kills there, which should have been a slam dunk from you guys. Okay. Now they're chasing your last. Demo speaking river. They have 40 ad. So sentry, sniper. Would probably prefer a pyro here. Their Uber is imminent. Do you have traps on point? What do you have trapped? Shutter? Okay. Soldier feeds trying to make a play when they have ad. I guess they lost track though. Because they're just sending a sack, so you kind of get lucky with that. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay, so that guy somehow kills your medic. They should have just Ubered in immediately, honestly. And they would have caught you guys. But they're waiting. You have another soldier going for a play. Your soldier barely lives, okay. So you managed to live. They're walking in river. So you guys, I'm not sure if you spotted their coming river. They, again, could have just popped in right there. Soldier jumps right into their Uber. Oh, demo falls to the ground right as they're Ubering. This could be a death. Yeah, so your demo just walks towards their Uber and dies. Soldier out of ammo, dies. Heavy on the point, dies. Okay. Felt like maybe you guys are trying to just do a little too much there with your soldiers being out of position at the beginning of that and then jumping into them. But
I
your
think
med
it's
never
safe
should
to
have died
say
like
that
that.
our
Mhm.
decision making gets worse the later in the night. Yes, this
Let's
is
see.
I think our last scrim of the night or the last half was like midnight or something.
I see.
So
What is it?
I think
Fatigue or
we're
something?
not, huh?
Is it fatigue or what do you mean? Like what's going on that's the case?
For me, it's fatigue for sure.
I see.
Uh,
Okay.
but yeah, I think our there is a noticeable difference in the quality of our scrims first hour to like the first half of first hour to
I
second half
see.
of last hour.
Sometimes it's tilt. This game, we were like pre-tilted. Not gonna lie.
Yeah.
The previous
Gotcha.
I
like
don't know.
3 matches did not go well.
Okay. Okay. So once again, a little late there with the first sticky. Just trying to take your side. Hood jumps forward. Soldier in your drop. Your scout's back looking for him. They're just shoving the point again. And your demo is the only one here getting focused. Okay, jump hit in the back. You guys got their med. Your med is still getting sandwiched though. Scouts clean up. Okay, nice job. So you guys have 2 scout picks. Potentially you could race, but I think you're going to be too slow, sadly, to get through here. Sometimes if I'm ever rolling out and I'm trying to race, I'm going to roll out towards big door just so I can get to their choke faster. But they've already made it there, so no point in that. Now, they're really spamming you guys, but probably just evens out. Okay, so let's see how you guys try to break this. So your soldier just dies alone in big door. You guys are still just waiting on mid. Guy down drop down. Is he spotted? Doesn't look like it. Because your scout is here, not spotting drop down. Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Okay. An exchange is viable, you know? You want to make sure that they're not getting through if you're going to do it. But this guy being unspotted definitely is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure if he's actually going to get this force. So, I mean, you get the kill, that's fine. You could take the exchange still, like, if you wanted to. It wouldn't be a bad option. I think it's a play you may want to, experiment with on Gully because it's such a choky map that sometimes an exchange isn't a bad way to like just get their Uber out of the way. Or there's some gimmicks you can do, like you exchange on your soldier while he's 300 HP, he gets the force, and then he like ends the Uber bombing this guy, and he can get this kill. Or he takes his 300 HP post Uber and like goes up top behind them, so now they have to like look in more directions. Looks like here you just go for the sack though. A little bit of pressure behind it, no force. Okay, just another stalemate. Another insta-death in big door alone. So usually,
Wait, Pinky, where were you for that?
I was getting my buff on mid, and then I backed up on big door right when Ark
Mhm.
was getting pressured by the demo, and he
Okay.
died.
Yeah, well, something you guys, should be able to do here is just like leave your pocket to just watch choke, and you can like bring your heals and your demo and like everyone to escort these people through big door and like get them in a little bit more clean. Potentially here you would even find this demo like and this scout here sitting here unbuffed, and you could just like instantly commit your flank players into them with your combo sort of like supporting that play, and you could be getting kills here. Just the last 2 times you were here, you just had a soldier here kind of alone, and everyone was just like standing still at choke. So usually big door I see that to be kind of the main area of like pressure, but I'm not sure. We'll see if you guys end up doing that later. They just end up taking an instant exchange here. It's a
I
scout
think
solo.
I
Yep.
stayed at choke because I saw their beam was here. I knew they were about to push through. So I think this
Mhm.
is the time that Lamb was talking that I called for us to exchange after Arc
Okay.
died,
Okay.
like right as Arc died.
So they pop first. It's just a scout solo, so you guys are milking a little bit. You pop now. They're getting juggled a little bit, but it would be awesome if you had stickies behind them here. Okay, now you do. Now they're locked in. That should be a med kill right there. You didn't dead for some reason on the mid. Everyone's just sitting back. You guys popped second, so I feel like you guys should have been on this pounce like immediately. But just let them all walk in. Med gets piped. Huh. So what I would have expected there is like you take that exchange, you have stickies behind them, and you try to like contain them right here with your combo so that other people can start like pouncing on them as they're stuck. But you guys all fell back to your side and you ended up just giving up all the space in the world. I think you guys set that up decently at the start, but just everyone seemed to like not want to collapse. So let me see different perspectives here. I gotta go earlier. Okay. All right, so this is in the middle of the exchange. So your soldiers here. You guys popped right now. So their Uber's already like been going for a couple seconds. So you guys should already know this is a better Uber. Your demo standing his ground. Your soldier jumped out. Your scout is still buffed. Still healthy. Doing just fine. Saw the guy drop down and starting to look at that. Your soldier sees maybe this guy in the ground. Your other scout is way over here, kind of far away on the flank, but now you see that guy get air shot. Okay, I would be holding W at that guy, honestly. This demo is just on the flank. He's irrelevant right now. You just fight up on height right now. You guys just roll them. So I would have not seen these guys as like a big threat when you could just be wiping their combo. So you hit that air shot, and then what? Do we jump in off that? Oh, your soldier's pretty weak. Everyone's holding S, despite that soldier getting air shot. Your Uber still being better, and you having stickies behind their mid. Soldier's standing here getting tanked. An arrow would have been nice, or if you would have grabbed the pack, that would have been nice. Because all your heals went into your soldier there, and then your demo and scout just get forced out. So I'm not sure. Do you recall why you guys didn't want to like collapse that Uber?
I think um there was a bit of chaos because there were disagreements about whether we should have been doing that.
I see. Okay. Well, usually the call that I would want to have made is like right at the start of that Uber, just any call that's a better Uber for you guys would be good, or like we can milk this for a second and just everyone sort of understanding that means you will have a longer Uber, or just a call like they're caught, like collapse on them during that Uber. Once you have those stickies behind them, I would be like screaming like they're caught, something like that, and then people should start moving forward instead of backwards. Because yeah, it was set up perfectly. Just for some reason, the follow through didn't come. So now you're down 3. They're getting second. Another last hold. Basically even. You get the early spot that they're close to river. Okay. Are they gonna actually Uber this? No, probably just a sack. This guy dies. Okay. You get 2 kills. All right, let's see. Are we moving? Your demo's going lobby. Our soldier was pressuring. Our soldier's up here alone. Too slow to push out again. No one ever peeked like lobby. There was no one else in river supporting that bomb, so just too slow to move. Potentially it looks like you guys are hesitant to swap off your sentry when you guys get 2 picks. I would definitely encourage you to swap. It's not too hard to rebuild, you know, but you're never going to get off last if you just have 3 people always anchored to last here. So, they have a sniper. You guys have a sniper. Sniper kills your sniper, so you should know where he is. He's in river. Okay. Oh, just insta bomb into there. Trade 1 for 1. Okay, your sentry gets a kill. 4v4. Decent spam. These stickies are doing nothing to prevent this sniper though. So I would already have like conceded this trap to like start carpeting this probably. This trap is also kind of useless. Like this guy can open the shutter for free. You really want to just carpet the ground here. This will only kill someone if they decide to walk in for some reason.
Okay.
Yeah. So a lot of this is just denying them the opportunity to peek. So it's a lot of just like carpeting rather than like trapping for kills. You should be trapping to just like prevent them from ever peeking. That's a lot of how you want to play very choky maps. Yeah. So like a shutter here, for example, like if you trap above this, this guy can be standing here forever just spamming you on the point or something. But if you trap the ground, he can't even open the door. So it makes a big difference if you're trying to just like allow your team the ability to stabilize.
Hmm.
Okay.
That makes sense.
So sniper's peeking. Soldier bombs in. Kind of gets baited there. You got to be dangerous or cautious about that because it's a little dangerous to bomb into that unbuffed. You're doing it again. This time you get the sniper, so that should be a relief for your team. A minute left. So this is getting down to the point where they might, you know, send like a bigger sack wave. Big force right there. Nice. So this is going to be full ad to push out a last. They have 1 late spawner here, so this is where sometimes I'll like expect a spy. So just be keeping track of those spawn times. You have a free pick on this guy caught in river or in water. You guys get this kill, I'm sure. And then, you know, it's still big ad, so let's see if you guys use this. My NG could have swapped by now. The demo is completely alone. Everyone else is still in last. Still going back for people on last. Still solo kill or solo fight in river. These guys are completely caught. Scout pushes them. So you guys got split here. 2 went forward, 2 went backwards. But you get the kills, thankfully. And the scout backcaps you guys. So again, it's just too slow, I feel like, to push out. And maybe you guys don't have like good defaults about where people should go. I think that will make this a lot easier for you guys if you just establish who's going where. So usually, you know, my default is going to be demo into lobby. Then combo can, if we're going fast, you know, going straight river is fine. But sometimes I actually like having my combo move through lobby to like support my demo and then go up the stairs into river. And then my flank player is clearing river and water and stuff. If I need to, my roamer can just stay on last. But there again, you had your NG stay, you had your roamer go river alone. I think your demo pushed river too, so they could have just backcapped through baby door. So a lot of things were kind of vulnerable there. Okay, next mid. First sticky again, a little bit late. Hit the med once. Demo is very weak. They're high bombing into your demo. He's probably gonna die. Oh. He gets your med instead. So now you guys are trying to salvage. Their med goes down to 10 HP. He dies. Okay, you trade meds. Not bad. See how the DM fight goes. Okay. Nice. Okay, you guys win that. They're still down 2 scouts. Demo's trapping big door, so choke is not trapped. Demo's unbuffed. You guys try to get this kill. So you've locked their demo and both scouts out of the fight now. So that's really good. So now you guys should be setting up the fight on second while someone watches the shutters just to make sure these people don't get in. Scout does peek in there, scares them out some more. So this should be a wipe on their combo and a round for you guys. Soldier bombs through. Your combo's still just sitting in big door though. You guys get the med. Soldier gets rolled. It's kind of silly, but okay, you got the med. So it's like full ad. You got another soldier. All right, what route do you guys take? Why are we going up top? Okay, no. Just go lobby. If you guys went straight into last right now, this should be GG. So med spawn, you're going what? Lower main? Okay. Oh, didn't pop through the door, so you lost a scout. Uber's pop. This should be an NG and medic and demo kill right here. Demo didn't get flashed, so your demo can't get into last. Sentry gun is still here. Scout needs to get a kill. Might have just missed some shots. I don't know. But yeah, that was just unfortunate you didn't pop at the entrance here. So your scout blew up to a trap. But otherwise, there's the right intention. Got a spy lurking on last. They have 3 people on last now. So, but you won't have anyone who can contest, I don't think. Back cap, oh, just a little too slow. So at this point, you shouldn't show yourself. Wait, everyone fed for it, even though you didn't even attempt to back cap. That's not good. Oh, I guess time's out, so GG. Okay. Yeah, so a few things I think are just like, sort of like positioning and things like that, or like just the general strategy where everyone stands, I think could fix a couple of these issues. The next thing that I want you guys to like, I'll talk about a few of those, but one of the big decisions that you guys made twice that went bad was fighting second when it was too late. So I would definitely encourage you guys to stop doing that. Like if you come here and they're already through choke, don't fight it, because forcing that fight just leads to you guys dropping half your team and or more and just losing the round potentially. So I would be a little bit more humble sometimes when you come here and it's like it's too late. Just accept that, cut your losses, and leave. So that's one thing. The next thing was pushing out a last. I feel like you guys, when you had like guaranteed picks, you were too slow. So this first scenario is more like you're racing their spawners, and it's basically a race of who can control choke. They want to rush choke because it's the furthest door away from you guys, and it gives them the most access to height, and they can spread out. So that's why they're trying to get through here, because they, if they get through when you're at that shutter, they still get in clean. And you guys want to control choke because, kind of the same thing. It gives you high ground here. If they shove big door or whatever, they're really far away from you. It doesn't matter that much. And you can just control all this. And potentially you can even wrap people into mid, which can bail you out of some bad scenarios. So yeah, it's all about racing to control choke a lot of the time here. So what I will do is, like, if I have people that are here early enough, I might want them already like putting a little bit of resistance on choke. Like if I have a soldier who's alive early, I may want him like sitting here pre-firing this, maybe hiding behind rock so he can help pounce on people as we walk in, maybe sitting above choke just to like slow them down, to make them like stagger a little and choke or look up. Just those kinds of things can slow them down a bit. But if you have like literally not a soul over there, it might be good to just cut your losses, because the moment you try to force this fight, not only are you like low ground, but you're getting further and further away from any escape route, and they could also be wrapping people like behind you here, which happened, I think the first time, where you guys peek this door, you were looking this way, they're already at rock, you got shot in the back here, and then they also have the option of flanking you guys up top here. So yeah, I would be careful about just forcing that second fight if you're racing. Then when you were holding last, you got a couple picks. Your NG stayed too long. Sometimes your pyro stayed too long. just swap people off and start moving. You know, if you get a demo pick, you should already be moving. If you get 2 picks on a sack, you should be moving. And what's going to give you guys more peace of mind to push out is just like you can have your roamer just sit on last, or your pocket, or you know, one of your soldiers can just sit here. He can watch the point. You know, he can lurk in here or something. He can play on the ring. You know, he could hide in this corner. Whatever you want to do to, like, you know, not just lose a 1v1, you can do that. And what other people should be doing is just trusting that he's going to watch last. And the way you're actually going to, like, guarantee you don't get back capped is by starting the cap on second and by spotting all their players. Because half the time you're going to come here and you're like, oh, they're all in front because I see the scout, medic, and, you know, soldier retreating. So it's like they're not back capping. So we know that. And then you guys can all push out. So those are kind of the two, like, big patterns. And then the rest to me is just like maybe not kind of having roles outlined. So I think you guys should have a better solution for the guy going drop down. Whatever you guys want to do, just assign it to someone. If it's your roamer who's going to just come down lower left and he's going to prevent him from getting in there, then do that. If it's going to be your combo scout, like spotting him from here, being a little more patient. I personally really like this spot. So the way I play the mid on combo scout is I roll out here, I pressure the demo a little bit, and then I rotate back, and then I'm sort of watching the whole mid from here. You know, sometimes I'll come into elbow if I need heals, but if I pressure the demo and dodge decently, where I don't take like a fuckload of damage, I might still be buffed or full health when I come here, and then I can see, you know, if my flank is fighting on the ground, if they're bombing my demo, I can still sometimes make it over there, and then I can rotate up to my mid late in the fight. And then if the guy does go drop down, I can get 185 potentially, and like I can just kill him, and then no one else has to like do anything that disrupts their mid, because I'm kind of just the guy watching everything as a combo scout. So that's one option. Or you could have your pocket like come to mid, see a guy go drop down, and he just like skip jumps into your choke with a buff and just nukes him. You could even roll out a soldier your choke, and he's sort of just a drop down watcher, and he gets arrowed or something on this sight line. This can actually be a little tip for you guys is if your med is getting like rolled by their demo or your scouts, if you guys are taking too much damage in big door, ruling out a soldier to your choke can help, because that means your med's getting more scout speed. So you're gonna beat the demo his spam. So that can be a little tip to help alleviate some spam damage, and your soldier can just kind of be a little more patient here and choke, get arrowed, and then crit heals and come back in, or go down drop or something. Your demo, it seemed like, was a little slow on the rollout. So just to like remind you again what it should look like. Hold on. Okay, so yeah, it's I think it's mainly just the first sticky that you're shooting into mid needs to be charged a little bit earlier. So it's just right as you're passing the bats here, you're charging this sticky so that when you grab this pack, you can fire that sticky, and that's going to go a little bit deeper into big door. And that's just going to be perfect timing to hit both scouts, potentially the roamer. And then it's just going to give you a little bit more time to look to see where you want to place the next sticky, whether it's going to be to shoot the scout on the awning, to try to hit the soldier in big door, you know, to hit the medic when he's going in elbow, or like carpet that off, you know, whatever it's going to be. If you get this first sticky out of the way earlier, your second sticky can be ready for, you know, someone that you can see with your own eyes, basically. And that damage could potentially like really change the course of the mid, because now their scouts aren't buffed, their roamer, you know, isn't buffed, just that kind of stuff. So it really does have a lot of downstream effects, making sure you hit that first sticky. Another option you can consider is, as a demo, you can put that first sticky in big door, and then potentially sometimes you can like put a sticky on their demo if he's a problem. You could rotate to the ground if you're doing like a right side mid too. So that can be decent. Yeah. So I think dealing with the guy drop down was an important thing. You guys had decent success with the setup on your guys going up their drop down, but it just felt like they would push the point too freely as well. So I think your demo as well, like once people are like on their side, Your demo needs to be a lot more focused on like denying the point. It seemed like they were pushing the point and you were still shooting stickies back there. So you may want to focus a little bit more on like denying more actively, just like carpeting this or something, so they can't just shove the point for free. And then your pocket could also look to potentially stall them with a fade bomb if they keep pushing before your flank can come through drop down. So those are some things that you may need to implement if the drop down strat is what you're going to keep going for. And then the other area was on last. I think last, there's a lot of roles that just need to be more clearly defined. So the first one is regarding your pyro. The pyro is like one of the most powerful. One sec. Your pyro is your most powerful like tool on last usually. And I think that what kept happening is your med would be here and your pyro would be over there. I think your pyro should play more as a pocket player. So your med and pyro like move as a unit. Because just sending your pyro in to die to 2 scouts getting Ubered is kind of useless. He's going to die too fast and they're just going to be happy with the pick for the post Uber. So I would rather see you guys investing in your pyro a little bit more and making sure your pyro isn't so much of a throwaway. So if that means that you guys are going to play passive and just defend your sentry, then your heals and your pyro are on the sentry. If that means you're going to stuff their Uber, then your heals and your pyro are stuffing the Uber. One thing I personally didn't like too much is the sentry gun right here. I find this sentry is too hidden to actually deny sacks because they're just bombing in freely through the doors. So I would personally move the sentry gun somewhere more in the open so it can see them like when they're actually like through. Either here, or you could put it like here, or you can put it like up here, which you guys did. But I personally don't like tucking it away. The one here wasn't bad. You know, you can experiment with some other spots. Like this one can deny the point. And instead of like being afraid of them spamming it, which honestly they can spam it here anyways from lower main, they can just splash the cubby. You instead focus more on having your players like stuffing their spammers. So for example, your pocket soldier can be like here, ready to rocket people on Balk, or ready to meet people lower main if they're spamming the sentry. Rather than, yeah, tucking your sentry away because you're afraid that you can't like stuff the spam. Another thing you could do is have a sniper. He can defend the sentry sometimes as well so that it can't be spammed easily on the right. And then the last thing that you can do is your demo can, if you're running the pyro to like stuff their Uber, you shouldn't have to trap the point as hard. You can focus more on trapping the place where their Uber's coming in, and then you can just like det or like spam pipes to like juggle them, or they drop players, and it's really gonna set your pyro up a lot. Okay, what else needed to happen? Your roamer needed to be a lot more ready to intercept people in water. So I think it's good that your roamer get info in river early as often as you can, but the moment that guy gets in water, your roamer needs to be like ready to deal with him. So usually I want my roamer like pre-firing this if you're going to play on the ring. But if you get like 300 HP, another way you could play it is sort of like, yeah, you're just waiting for them to cross, and then you get your 300 HP, and then you can like just go into water and actively like try to just 1v1 him because you're going to have more health. And then your demo could be like trapping off his exit, things like that. Because it felt like that guy got on the point way too freely a couple times. And then what else for the last hold? Oh yeah, your pocket. Another thing that your pocket can be doing, what I personally like to do a lot is spotting lobby. So like a lot of times I like to play right here. I find this angle to be a lot more like powerful than here, just because they can spam you more easily right here and you just kind of get forced off. And then a lot of times you can't really peek this. Whereas the shutter kind of allows you to play like mind games a little bit with like opening and closing it. And these rockets tend to do a lot more damage at this range. Like these are like 80 damage rockets when they're right here. Whereas from this angle, you're doing like, 50 damage rockets, but you're taking a lot more damage in return. So sometimes I'll play here, and it's very important that you spot where their combo's coming if you have a pyro. So the default usually is going to be pyro is going to expect them to come shutter or lower main. So your pyro plays here. And then once your roamer calls them coming river, then your pyro shifts away. because it's easier to drop down and meet them here than it is to go back up. So if your pyro does ever like drop down, your pocket can be here, spotting in case it's like a bait. Because some people will play mind games. They'll like take their Uber here, then see the pyro, then shift river, or things like that, but then shift back. So your pocket can sort of fill in for your pyro right here, like juggling them, getting the force, and then he can jump out if needed, so that you guys are covered in case they bait your pyro. Let's see what else. Yeah, sure. Honestly, for me, I prefer to stuff them like every time by default, unless we're like close to getting Uber, maybe. If we're close to getting Uber, then I might decide to like bunker. The other thing is, if I have people in water, then it's okay to play here as well, or like someone to play the point. But the whole point of like stuffing them is that they don't even get a chance to get to the point. So yeah, it can be pretty good for that. Maybe if you don't feel like you have time to set up, close, then you could potentially do that. But personally, I would rather stuff them every time if I have the choice to do so. Yeah. Okay. So, any other questions? I feel like, yeah, for now, those are really the main things that I would want you guys to focus on is not throwing the round, pushing second, like if you're racing their spawns, making sure that you are pushing off of last, like with a little bit more confidence. Leaving a soldier to just babysit last to give you the peace of mind to like push, so you can just like commit to that push. And then just cleaning up a couple of these situations like on the mid and the last hold. I think those things would go the furthest for you guys. So do you guys have any questions about it? Yep. Okay, sure. Okay. So one big thing that I want to emphasize is info before you push last. There's a window here. You can see everything. So you should almost never be pushing last blind if you have ad, because you can almost always get a scout here to like start peeking this, even while you're like capping second. Like your scout can already be spotting. Where's the traps? Where's the sentry? What's the setup? So info is super important. And sometimes I'll come here and I'll be like, they have 8 stickies on point. We can walk in. There's no trap. Sometimes I'll come here and I'll be like, oh, they're all stacked on left. Okay, let's Uber river. So this info that you can gather is super important. If you can get here, this is probably the best spot to get it. Who knows what you'll see. There's a guy hiding in secret. The demo's in water. Sentry gun there, sniper here. Like whatever you see, you can change your push based on info. So get info. If you need to, you can do like a quick drive-by lower main to get some info. You can jump spot from like river sometimes. Like while my team is still like taking lobby and capping, I might like do some peeks, something like this, just to like see what their setup is. If you find that you're Ubering into last blind or you're like rushing your pushes, this may be one of the solutions, is that you can just get more info early so you can have a better sense of what the push is going to be. Okay, next thing, where you end the Uber is really important. Well, first of all, destroying the sentry is super like critical. This is a smaller last. The sentry covers like way more of it. Your team will not be able to get into last unless the sentry goes down. So destroying the sentry needs to happen, high priority. So usually, the sentry's going to be on the left or whatever. Maybe you guys Uber in through river. You can start shooting it. Okay, what's going to be the obstacle? The pyro. How do you defeat a pyro? There's a couple tools. You can double scout to kill a pyro potentially. That can be one tool. You can have cross spam. So for example, a soldier lower main can be shooting this pyro in the back if he tries to meet you river. And then that's going to be a more easy pyro kill for you. But what else? Leading your scout usually is a good idea. So your demo isn't like out. So if there's still a pyro like fighting you guys, your scout is the one that's like engaging with the pyro, and your demo can be like spamming him still from like just behind you guys. So that, yeah, just kill the pyro first, then destroy the sentry. Your goal should be to end on height. Usually I like to end here, top right. Because a lot of times they want to have people sort of like lurking over here or on the pipe or on the balk. When you come up to top right, your demo and scout, ideally your demo is going to be able to lock out this spawn, and you're trying to like funnel their whole team into this small little area. So your demo needs a lot of support if he's going to end top right. One place people go wrong is they like end down here. Their Ubers are ending on the ground, so they're just getting flooded on from both spawns, and then they're like forced to retreat. Try to end your Uber top right as often as possible. If you're Ubering through Shutter, you can just go directly to top right. If you're Ubering river, you may need to cross and climb up here. You can have a soldier coming in like through this side to help stabilize on the top right. So first, priority, destroy the sentry, kill the pyro, whatever, end on height. Then next piece, people in water, cap time. So people going water need to be careful of traps and people lurking in here, whatever, but it's very effective to just have people going water, like your flank scout or flank scout and roamer, things like that. You could have your roamer playing to like bomb the point from river after the point gets baited. But ideally, it's going to be your flank scout as the point pressure. And sometimes you'll just cap it outright. One place where people go wrong is that they bomb this spawn too early. So it's like you have a soldier coming through and he bombs into a 450 heavy. Make sure that this is an actual collapse. So that there's a queue from your combo to like collapse on people here. You're not just bombing in the instant the sentry goes down. Because if the sentry goes down and then you bomb, you're already going to be like you're going to be isolated over here because your team is still stabilizing, all that. So try to set up that stabilize after you get the sentry, and then actually coordinate like the point pressure and the collapse. That's kind of the formula for these last pushes, in my opinion. Your combo scout should be looking to hunt people kind of around here. If there's ever a guy in secret, getting like that last flash and like just 1v1ing this guy can be good. Sometimes your combo scout can touch the point. But it's important that your demo has people supporting him to like hold here. Because if he doesn't have anyone helping him, a heavy just like standing here is gonna just destroy him, or a soldier is just gonna bust out of here and just get right on your demo. So stabilizing top right is really good. Your combo scout can like get on the ring and do that to deny people. But a lot of it is just sort of baiting them down to the ground with your scout or your roamer, and then you guys just collapse on them by holding this top right area. That's what it should look like ideally. And I guess don't be afraid to Uber through different doors. I liked that you guys went for that lower main Uber. It was just unfortunate you guys dropped your scout. Don't always Uber the same place. I was mentioning other teams might try to mind game you a bit because like they'll fake a river push, then rotate back. You guys can do stuff like that. And a lot of it just comes from having that info. Because if you see their pyros on the left, maybe you want to get through Shutter. If their pyros on the right, maybe you want to get through River. Like you can rotate around a lot. So yeah, don't just have one push where it's like always a river push, because then they're gonna have an easier time just like counter stratting you, I guess. All right. Any thoughts on that? Any questions about that? Okay.
I have
Anyone else? Yeah, go ahead.
one final question about mid fights.
Mm-hmm.
What's your kind of decision making when you're playing flank scout for when you like how long do you want to stay on the ground and when you like want to get on height?
Mm-hmm.
Because I
Honestly,
know
I
sometimes
I
it can
really
work.
don't like being on the ground unless my plan is to like run through and like commit to like killing someone down here or flanking, because you just become so weak and so isolated. Like if you take one sticky when you're over here, you're like disabled for the rest of the mid. You're like 90 HP. Just like it's too dangerous to take a fight. So personally, I wouldn't really play the ground from like any closer than like here. And the moment I take damage, I probably would be rotating towards heals. Um, I really like when my flank scout, maybe even like rolls out choke and then just like gets up on a position like this on height. Because then you can keep a soldier contained if he's like there. You can pounce and shoot this guy in the back. And then it's a lot of it's just like rotating back up. So if I'm ever gonna go down to the ground, I'm not gonna like stay down here and try to like live with 90 HP. I'm gonna like try and get what kill I can, and then I'm gonna rotate back up to height, get rehealed, you know. And if I need to pounce down here again, I can, and then I just rotate back up again. And just always trying to reset to high ground so that I'm not just, you know, starving for heals and kind of just one-shotable the whole mid, basically. That's basically what I would do. I mean, sometimes you can use your early buff to rush the demo, you know. That could be a way to make the most of your life. Or jump up on the point and then, you know, push the demo or push these scouts if they're getting like double bombed, things like that. But if your mid is just like your team is stabilized on your side and you're sitting down here like with no buff, it's not that impactful in my opinion, and it's just likely you're gonna get pounced on. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, it does. Thank you.
Okay. Yeah, I think a couple of those mids, it looked like you had a scout roll out this way and just kind of like stay here. One thing I want you guys to like understand is that the demo only needs to be pressured just enough so that he can't walk right here and just roll your whole team. Once that's been accomplished, it's not really necessary for anyone to like keep fighting him because you might end up isolated because you overstay. So a lot of what it looks like is literally just you roll out here, you shoot him like that, and then you're out and you're rotating back to your team. So all you really need is just that initial pressure so that he's not at the front edge of the point unloading, you know, 80 damage stickies into your team. Once you've done that, you know, if you can keep him back here, you're fine. You just don't want him here. That's it. You know, if he is going to be here, maybe you can bomb him and all that, but like all you really need is just make sure he's not all the way up here insta-killing your mid on mid or insta-killing, you know, your scouts. So it's just to keep him in check. That's it. And then you're out. And you can play your side. You can, you know, have your flank scout get a full buff and then he can like be here or something like that. All right. Any other questions for Gully? I'll take that as a... All right, cool. Well, hopefully that helps. And then I'll review with Hood again on Wednesday. So yeah, let me know if any other questions come up. But I guess we'll call it here for now.
Yep. Thank
All
you.
right, cool.
All right. Thank you very much.
Look. Oh yeah, sure. Yep. Yep, sure. Yeah, anytime. Cool. Yeah, yeah. All right, see you.